welcome to another episode of the Ramen Stand. It is me, Kai, followed by my boy Cole and DJ.
Hello.
And today we are going to be talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, which was very fucking long.
Yes, it was very long.
And has lots of characters.
And the worst part is that this is the first season of part 3.
Yes, I know. It's, all right.
That's a long boy. Well, thank you, Kai.
It is indeed.
All right, so as Kai said, we're going to talk about the first season of JoJo Part 3, which is definitely the longest part. Actually, technically, no, it's not the long. It's the longest part in terms of the anime, but in terms of the manga, it's actually not the longest part. But yeah. So before we do that, though, we're going to talk about some anime news. Also, before that, too, I want to apologize. I know it's been a minute since we've done an episode. We just unfortunately just haven't had the time, schedule's been, conflicting and stuff like that. But we're here. So anyway, time for some anime news. So there's been a couple of stuff. Not going to talk about everything that has happened in between episodes, just a few things. So one of the things I want to talk about is that Chris Ayer, the English voice actor for Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, the most iconic villain, has unfortunately passed away. Very unfortunate to hear that, because I know he's sort of like, he's pretty much like the voice of Frieza, very iconic. Very unfortunate that he passed away. Kind of curious to see what they're going to do
head right now
about that. But yeah. Now it's a little bit happier news. Mob Psycho is getting a season 3, which I am very excited about. Have you guys ever seen or heard of Mob Psycho?
Yes.
Like in terms of, is that a yeah for you seeing it or you've heard of it?
Yeah. Well, both. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would highly recommend checking it out. It's pretty much by the same guy who made One Punch Man, but it's more story driven. Like it's pretty much just like sort of same thing about, a guy who's very overpowered, but he has like psychic powers, but it's more sort of story driven about this middle school kid who really wants to impress this girl that he likes, but he's just very socially awkward and has a hard time showing his emotions. It's really fucking good. I would highly recommend checking out Mob Psycho. And then another thing is that Jump Festa is coming out pretty soon. It's going to happen on my birthday, actually, December 18th, which I'm pretty excited about. For those that don't know, Jump Festa is pretty much just like a big anime festival for Shonen Jump anime. And Bleach is going to have an art exhibit happening around that time. And a lot of people are speculating that they might show some more info for the final season of Bleach, which I am super excited about because I love me some Bleach. Definitely has its problems, especially with the publication of the manga for the last arc, but still excited for it. Happy that's going to happen soon. Next thing is that Cowboy Bebop live action is out. Haven't checked it out yet, but I heard some mixed things, honestly. I know Kai, last time I saw you said it was really good. God.
I've heard, I like it. I will preface it that. And I have heard many mixed things, but I don't know if you saw, DJ, but they actually canceled the next season of it.
Really?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there was a lot of fan reception was just not great.
Yeah,
which is fair, and I had a whole conversation with my coworker about this too. But yeah, for me, I really liked how they maintained the style of cheesiness as the original anime did. And I thought that it translated decently well into live action, but I do understand where a lot of fans are like, what the fuck is this?
Right. Yeah, no, I kind of did see the Ed clip, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's really awkward how they do, I guess not, awkward is the bad word to say, but how they do portray Vicious and Julia's characters.
Okay.
I don't know. It was weird.
Right.
It was weird.
I believe it. I'll eventually check it out, though. It's interesting to see sort of the compare and contrast, too. Which, I mean, and speaking of live action stuff, they've announced, not too long ago, they announced the actors, the live action actors for the live action One Piece. And, man, it's crazy that's actually going to be real. I mean, they all seem cool, and I can tell that these are definitely One Piece fans, and that they're definitely trying to get into the roles, but it's like, I just don't know, man.
You're not feeling it, huh?
Yeah. And
I mean,
how are they gonna do
I'll be
CGI?
Yeah, it's One Piece is definitely way harder to do live action than Cowboy Bebop, for example.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll still keep an open mind, but like I'm just, I don't know, man. I don't know. That one's definitely gonna.
I will say, like, live action anime adaptations are indeed getting better compared to what they used to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the one that I heard that was sort of decent was the JoJo Part 4 live action. I heard that one was kind of okay compared to a lot of other ones, but still kind of like, I mean, it's fucking JoJo. How the fuck do you make that live action, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Lots of CGI there.
Oh, 100%. So moving on from that. So for you guys that don't know, we talked about Rent-A-Girlfriend in the last episode a little bit, and apparently there's going to be a season 2 for Rent-A-Girlfriend. It was announced back in September that there's going to be a season 2 for Rent-A-Girlfriend, which I am excited to watch more of this train wreck. So looking forward to
I
that.
am too.
Yeah.
I love watching car accidents,
Definitely.
and this is the best one yet.
Definitely for a fact. How do you feel about that, Cole, that there's going to be a season 2 for Rent-A-Girlfriend?
How the fuck are people still enjoying live?
Oh, it's because this is the one that you didn't, that you recommended that you hated, right?
Yeah, because it was so stupid.
It is, but again, car wreck.
Right, definitely.
You can't look away.
Yeah. And speaking of things that aren't a car wreck, earlier this month, JoJo Part 6 Stone Ocean came out worldwide on Netflix.
Woo.
Oh god, I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna keep the JoJo Friday tradition, because they used to do it to where, you know, they would release an episode once a week on Fridays, which we dubbed JoJo Friday, but unfortunately they just dumped all 12 episodes on Netflix at once. And so I told myself, yeah, I'm gonna try and do once a week. I watched all of it in a row. I could not wait.
Oh no, dude.
God, it was.
That's okay.
But it was really fucking good.
Wait.
It was really good. Not Kai. Cole, did you see any of JoJo Part 6?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I tried, but like every streaming service I was on here just kept fucking buffering. So
Really?
me and my girlfriend just gave up on watching it for now.
Okay, well that's
'Cause
fine.
The connection's trash. here.
Understandable. That's fine. We can wait till we eventually catch up for the podcast, because who knows? Maybe by then they'll announce when the next batch will come out, which would be
Hopefully.
So the last thing I want to talk about, I just want to briefly talk about this. So one of the big things, this is sort of like an unfortunate thing, one of the big things that's happening with YouTube is that Totally Not Mark is facing some controversy with Toei Animation, to where Toei literally, for you guys that don't know, Toei is the company that makes, one of the big Japanese companies that does the animation for popular anime such as One Piece and Dragon Ball Z, and Totally Not Mark is a anime YouTuber who does reviews on those shows, and unfortunately Toei said fuck you and pretty much deleted 150 of his videos just because, and it's pretty much fucking him over financially, like him and his team. And so pretty much what he's doing is sort of like trying to do his best to get all that shit back. But he said that like if he does it sort of the normal way of going through YouTube, it would literally take 38 years to get all of those videos back. And so he's pretty much just like trying to fight Japan to sort of like not, you know, because pretty much Japan, they have completely different laws. Like they don't follow the same copyright laws as we do. And so like they don't care about the YouTube guidelines. They'll just take down a video just cause, you know, just cause like it's technically their property. They don't care if it's under fair use or whatever. They'll just do it regardless. And so he's been trying to fight it. It's mostly negative, but some positive, especially because a lot of people on YouTube are sort of fighting for it and sort of like, you know, being there for support. But yeah, anybody who doesn't know about that, I would highly recommend going to Totally Not Mark and giving him any support that you can. He definitely needs it. He's really fucking good. And yeah, hopefully things go well for him. So, moving on from that, we're gonna finally talk about JoJo Part 3 Stardust Crusaders, which is pretty much the most iconic part of JoJo as a whole. Like, whenever you think of JoJo, usually the person that you think of is Jotaro. He's pretty much like the Pikachu of JoJo, like the mascot.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and we gain a new thing with JoJo. We move away from Hamon, and we get the most iconic thing of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is stands. Kai, how did you feel about it when stands were introduced?
I thought it really helped with like character development, especially because the stands, like, they're kind of their own. They feel like their own characters,
Right.
and they kind of are. But yeah, it definitely felt more like, for one, it felt a little confusing because, like I said earlier when I was talking with Cole, there was so many, and like each new character you got an extra fucking character, you know?
Oh, 100%.
But no, like I thought it was pretty cool, especially because, like I said, like they're kind of extensions of their own characters.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps.
Definitely. Do you
to
think
like differentiate?
Or what about you, Cole? How do you feel about stands?
Well, you already know. I fucking love them. I feel like it's an
Goddamn
upgrade
right.
to like
100%.
Hamon, honestly.
100%.
Because all those moves were just like, what the fuck is going on? How am I gonna remember these move sets?
Yeah.
But if you see a stand, it's like, oh yeah, that's like da 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 and da 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 da.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah, stands
yeah.
definitely make more sense because like they all have one specific power, so it's easier to follow. Because Hamon, it feels like you could just do literally whatever the author wants, you know? Just like, I want to do this.
Go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
So yeah, definitely stands are a lot easier to follow. I definitely like stands way more than Hamon, for a fact. Okay, and then in this part we get our new protagonist, Jotaro. Kai, how do you feel about Jotaro when he was introduced?
Oh my god. Just,
We're
I
in
mean,
for it.
this is the third one we've met. Like,
Yeah.
I do like how he's still like very reminiscent of like his ancestors before him. But yeah, he also has like I remember when he's like in the jail cell. He's got such a strong personality, and I was like, oh yeah, this
Literally
is
called his mom a
this
bitch.
fits the bill. Yeah, exactly.
All right, what about you, Cole? How do you feel about Jotaro?
At first, I kind of hated him because he was just like an asshole to everything. And then, like, as the series went on, I was like, you know what? He's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
I like him.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, Jotaro starts off kind of like, I kind of like this guy. But as you spend more time with him, it's like, oh, he's kind of a fucking badass. I like this guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, the assholeness
so
is
cool.
warranted.
But the thing that I can appreciate the most about Jotaro is the fact that he's completely different from our previous protagonist, Joseph. Like, it's kind of cool to like have something different each time because, part one we had the gentlemanly guy, Jonathan, who's like super extrovert and, your standard shonen protagonist character, and then we get the complete opposite with Joseph, who's like very goofy, still very righteous, but definitely fucks around more. He's very, intelligent and stuff like that. And then we get another complete opposite with Jotaro, who's just very introverted, complete asshole, and just like very, keeps to himself and stuff like that. So I appreciate that like each protagonist feels a lot different in their own way compared to the previous, which I really like that. And so in this part, it takes place in the 80s, in 1989, I believe. And then in the beginning of it, it starts with fucking the sailors bringing up this coffin, and who do we see? Who do we see in that coffin? Motherfucking Dio is back.
How many times? I was so mad. I mean, I knew it, like, walking into this, that he was gonna show up again, but, like, how many times?
His family is cursed by a gay vampire.
Less than an old man. This gay vampire's back.
Not again.
But speaking of people who are back, freaking Joseph Joestar goes to see Jotaro, trying to bring him out of his cell. How'd y'all feel about it when you saw Joseph again? Now he's all old. He's getting older.
Isn't Jotaro like his like great grandson or something, or like great grandson?
I think just his grandson.
Like, just grandson.
Holly
yeah.
is like his daughter.
Yeah. It's his great grandson. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, I kind of find weird that they do that, to where it's like the protagonist not like your son, it's like your grandson, Because I mean with
I noticed that.
Yeah, because with Joseph's dad, it was George Joestar too, and you know what happened to him? He fucking died.
He
so
got
easily.
Clapped.
Yeah, he got clapped hard by like a standard vampire.
Indeed.
But I found that's kind of cool. It's not like the next generation; it's the next generation, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we meet Joseph. He's trying to get him out of get Jotaro out of the cell, but then he brings his boy Abdul and shows him his stand, Magician's Red. How do y'all feel about Abdul?
I love him.
Oh,
That's great. Yeah.
He was so good.
Abdul is so
He was
cool.
so funny too.
Oh yeah, he definitely had his moments, which we'll talk about a little bit later. He's definitely the most serious of the group, but honestly, I feel like out of all of them, we didn't really get the most with Abdul. I kind of wish he was around a little bit more.
Me too. Yeah, I feel like he was very short-lived.
True, as we'll definitely talk about a little bit. But yeah, and we also get JoJo's Stand Star Platinum. What do y'all think about the iconic Star motherfucking Platinum?
It's cool as fuck.
Goddamn right. His power, he punches really hard.
Yeah, legit. Sounds about right.
That's all you need. Basic. And okay, speaking of other powers, freaking Joseph Stand Hermit Purple. It's cool, but very weird.
Yeah,
it is super weird.
What the fuck is that?
It's just vines that can emit pictures by fucking karate chopping a camera.
He literally just made organic photography.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Like so Kai, could you imagine you and me having that power, knowing our professions and stuff like that? It's like, fuck. that would
game over.
Game over, man. But yeah, eventually they come together and then realize Joseph tells them that Dio is back and that he took the body of Jonathan and now he's living in this mansion and killing bitches and recovering to get his health back. And so pretty much the goal now, we'll get to that. The goal now is to get Holly to recover because her stand that's manifesting is trying to kill her because she's too weak. And so the Stardust Crusaders pretty much just becomes around the world in 80 days to where they have to get from Japan to Egypt in 50 days to kill Dio before Holly dies, which is pretty cool. It's pretty much goes from, because part one, it was pretty much just an 80s, a very standard English sort of, vampire horror flick. Then part two is sort of like a, Indiana Jones treasure hunt. And now part three is like a action adventure kind of show. So it's cool that, each part has its own kind of genre, which I like. But then later, before all that is mentioned, JoJo is going to school and then he has a bunch of his girls following him and being annoying and shit. And then we meet Kakyoin. How do y'all feel about Kakyoin?
That's how you say.
Yeah, Kakyoin. Oh, how do you think it's said?
Kakyoin.
Yeah, like Kakyoin.
Kakyoin.
Something like that.
Catcoin.
He's very green.
He is very green, yes.
He's very green.
It doesn't help that his stand is really green either.
Yeah.
Hierophant green.
Remind me, what is Hierophant green? He uses he fucking throws shit at you.
Yeah, the Emerald Splash, which can never be deflected.
Okay, nice.
And also he can use it to possess people's bodies and stuff like that. But otherwise he just spams Emerald green.
That sounds about right.
So,
in
the beginning with Kakyoin, he's kind of being possessed by Dio's flesh buds. And actually, there was a huge controversy on how Kakyoin's powers worked at this time. Because when we first meet him, he has a painting of Jotaro and he swipes the painting with red and immediately Jotaro's leg gets cut. And at first, a lot of people thought that Kakyoin's powers worked with the painting to where he can mess with it and it messes with the person in real life. But honestly, that's not at all what it is, in my opinion. It was just he sliced it and then immediately, Hierophant green using Emerald Splash, Yeah, I didn't think at all it had to do with the painting. I was just sort of to make you think what is Kakyoin's power, I didn't think it was all. Yeah, I get that. That's kind of what I like too, is that Araki does a good job of making you wonder what the fuck does this stand do? And he does a much better job with the later parts, as we'll see when we eventually get to there. And then we get the fucking opening, Stand Proud. I fucking love this opening. It's so testosterone. I love it. What do you guys think about it? It is
very, yes, that's the right word.
It just feels you up. It's god damn. And then part 6 is 100%. Part 6 is the complete opposite. It gives you so much serotonin. It's so good. The opening is great. Cole, have you seen the opening of part 6?
Not really.
You should. It's really fucking good.
It would buffer.
Oh yeah. Watch it on YouTube when you get a chance. It's really fucking good. But yeah, Kakyoin and JoJo eventually fight, and then we get the famous line, the Emerald Splash, a move that cannot be deflected line. And then Jotaro just beats the shit out of Kakyoin with his ora. And I love how whenever he beat him, all this blood sort of splattered everywhere. I'm just I love the anime trope of anime characters losing gallons of blood but just getting conscious or whatever, unconscious.
Yeah, he just stands up you're pretty good.
You're pretty good. I love that. Thank you, shonen anime, for having unrealistic blood explosions or whatever. So then eventually Jotaro takes Kakyoin back to their house and gives her the flesh bud, and then Kakyoin decides to join them on their quest to save Holly. And Kakyoin mentions how he kind of likes Holly a little bit, you know? Kind of got that MILF hunter vibes. Hunting them MILFs, baby.
Not the MILFs.
And then meanwhile, the Speedwagon Foundation will take care of Holly. And so they go on their adventure, and then Abdul names the stand Star Platinum, and they leave. And then we get the ending song, Walk Like an Egyptian. I like this one. It definitely fits the part, I feel like, 100%. Because they're on their quest to walk like an Egyptian. Also, I find it funny, too, how, like, whenever I hear these ending songs within the part, I start to hear them a lot more in real life. Like, at HEB where I work at, like, every now and then they'll play Walk Like an Egyptian. I'm just like, oh, that's a JoJo reference. But then eventually, later, the Joestars are on a plane towards Egypt. All the passengers are asleep, and they hear a strange buzzing, and they see a stag beetle. Oh, what the fuck's going on with that? And then the stag beetle starts killing everybody, fucking ripping off their tongues and shit, and like planning on the wall massacre and stuff like that. And I want to point out, I want to take back what I said in our part 1 review. In part 1, I said that I felt like this was the most brutal part. And after rewatching JoJo Part 3, JoJo Part 3 is the most brutal. It is fucking violent. Holy shit.
This was definitely a very violent turn.
Yeah, this definitely, I feel like, definitely Part 3 is the more violent part of all of them, I feel. But yeah, they fight. Jotaro at first fights Tower of Grey, which is the name of the stand. And then he eventually, Kakyoin fights Tower of Grey, and Kakyoin wins, and it's revealed that the old man from earlier in the episode was actually the stand user. And I love how, like, when he kills the stand, also his head explodes. It's like, oh god damn, it's fucking violent as hell. And his, like, tongue rips apart. Like, Jesus. I don't know. But then the plane starts to fall down, and then the group land in Hong Kong, and then they go sort of, think about their plan to travel Egypt without a plane, and then we meet best boy Polnareff. But unfortunately, Polnareff at this point in the story is being possessed by the flesh buds. But what do you guys think about Polnareff, our boy?
Well, upon first meeting him, I was like, God damn it, another one that's being possessed? What the fuck? And then, like, as the series went on, he became, like, I think actually my top favorite, like, supporting character in JoJo's.
Really? And as a whole?
Yeah, as a whole, because he just keeps showing up.
That is true. But yeah, so then Polnareff decides to fight Abdul, so we get Silver Chariot versus Magician's Red. And then they fight, and then Abdul eventually wins, and then Abdul realizes that he's being controlled, and then they bring him back. And then Polnareff tells him the whole reason why he's on this journey is to save his sister. He was killed by a man with 2 right hands, and stuff like that. So Polnareff now officially joins the Stardust Crusaders to get revenge for his sister. So now we have the whole gang. These are the people of the Stardust Crusaders. We have Jotaro, Joseph, Abdul, Kakyoin, and Polnareff. So out of these 5, who do you say is y'all's favorite and least favorite?
I do really like Abdul. So he's
okay.
He's gotta be my favorite. I want to say for least favorite.
I don't blame you. I think I know what you're going to say.
Stop. I want to say it's either Kakyoin or I don't know, maybe Joseph, because he's fucking like.
He's definitely
old, man.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. For me, my favorite is it's really hard toss up between Polnareff and Jotaro, but I feel like I got to give it a little bit more of a push to Jotaro, just because, like, I don't know, like his aesthetic, like his stand, it's really fucking cool. Yeah, I like Jotaro, probably for my favorite
just
out of the 5.
People.
Yeah, that's all you need. Just punches. Like, all these people have very, like, paragraph long text of what their stand does, and then Jotaro's like, I just punch really hard. That's it. Really hard and really fast.
Make them hurt.
And probably my least favorite, definitely Kakyoin. I mean, he's not bad. It's just that he's definitely more basic out of the 5.
He feels like the freeloader of the group.
Yeah,
yeah. He's just He's just like, why not?
He's vibing.
Exactly.
He vibing in his student uniform that he refuses to take off.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Cole? Favorite and least favorite Stardust Crusader out of this group?
Most favorite, probably Polnareff.
Yeah.
And least favorite, well, no, not Polnareff. I'm probably gonna go for like Joseph because he's still my favorite from part 2.
I get that.
Fair.
He's still like ridiculous doing all these like
definitely.
stupid things.
Yeah,
I'm like, you know what? I like this guy.
You still got it.
Least favorite, I'm gonna agree with you on Kakyoin because he's just
Yeah.
just there.
He's there. But that's okay, Kakyoin.
Emerald Splash doesn't do shit.
It does not do shit. But that's okay.
great.
Even though Kakyoin's our least favorite, he's still cool. He's still a cool guy.
He's doing his best.
He's definitely doing his best. So yeah, the group go eventually on get away from Hong Kong, going on a boat to Singapore within 3 days, and then they meet a random stowaway kid on board. This girl, I don't even think we have a name for her. Why is she here? What purpose in the story does she serve?
Annie?
Anne?
Sure.
Anne? Yeah, Anne.
Sure.
Anne.
Like, I was thinking about it. It's like, I mean, sure that she's there, but like, she didn't do anything to move the plot along.
That's fair. I mean, wasn't she like technically working with Dio or like for Dio as a stand user?
She wasn't.
Oh, wait. Didn't they like suspect her or something?
Yeah, they suspect her. It's like, oh, she's a stand user. But then they realize like, no, it's the fucking the captain of the ship later.
Which was a fucking orangutan.
Right.
It is an orangutan.
No, that's after
so
this
creepy.
one.
So creepy.
Yeah, no, the orangutan is definitely. I feel like out of all the stand users that we'll talk about in this part, the orangutan was definitely the one that stood out the most.
Yeah.
He's the most vile, in my opinion.
100%.
Jesus Christ.
I get that.
He is indeed quite vile.
I get that. But yeah,
But I understand what you mean by her not moving the plot along.
Yeah,
She's also again like reminds me of Kakyoin. Like she's just there.
Yeah, she's there. Literally, she was even worse than Kakyoin. She literally was just there. Like she.
At least Kakyoin had a stand.
Yeah,
She was just a little girl.
No. But yeah, they eventually the captain of the ship is trying to get her off the boat, and then the captain sort of fucks with Jotaro, saying like, "Hey, can't smoke on this boat." And I don't know which version of part 3 that y'all watched, but in the censored version, they definitely censored Jotaro smoking with a shitty black filter or whatever, because Japan has a strict rule about minors smoking, because Jotaro is 17. Yeah. This beefy boy is 17 years old. God damn.
I do forget that he is a teenager.
Yeah, no. He's a teenager who looks like he's 25.
That's anime for you.
That is indeed.
But then it is eventually revealed that the captain of the ship is a stand user, and they fight with his stand Dark Blue Moon, which... What the fuck does Dark Blue Moon even do? It just swims. Like, I really don't understand what this does. Compared to all the other stands.
He's just in the water.
It swims. That's what I do. Let me look up what it does. Look at its power, because I really can't understand what the fuck it does, actually. Let's see. Abilities. Dark Blue Moon is a marine stand. As such, its skills are more effective in an aquatic environment. It's probably less effective. Yeah. Whatever. High enough range. Standard. Blah blah. Razor sharp scales. Barnacles. Okay, I guess it can swim fast, cut, and can produce barnacles. Okay, that's what Dark Blue Moon does.
Like a boat. You mean like a boat?
Yeah, like a boat. Yeah. Dark Blue Moon is basically has boat powers. There you go. But yeah, Jotaro fights Dark Blue Moon, and he wins with his new power, Star Finger, where he can shoot his fucking fingers out. How'd you all feel about when he used Star Finger? He has a new ability now.
That was weird. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but like it's definitely... I feel like Star Finger should be its own sort of stand, like, power, you know? Like...
You think so?
Yeah,
I mean, it still technically involves the hand.
True.
Which, like, it already punches.
Right.
So I thought it fit decently.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Like, it's his long range attack, which is okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't know. Yeah, they eventually get off the ship, and then they immediately come across a even bigger ship.
Yep.
Yes.
Big ship.
Big ship.
Fucking ship.
Big fucking ship. But before that happens, Dio talks to Enya, and she mentions all the stand users that are left, because there's a bunch of these stands that are... basically, this part, all the stands are named after tarot cards and stuff like that. But then they eventually they come across an orangutan in a cage, and then they realize that the orangutan is the stand user named Strength. And how'd y'all feel about that? This fucking orangutan who's like trying to get with this girl, this little girl.
I thought it was cute, but
I don't know about that.
I know that's the orangutan I'm talking
monkey.
about. I hate it. It's disgusting.
Can solve.
It doesn't help that I don't already like orangutans in real life.
You don't like orangutans?
No, they look creepy.
They're just monkey.
Yeah, but
They creepy monkey.
they're strong as fuck.
Why can't they
That's
be like a capuchin or something like that? Those are cute.
Yeah, if they made it a capuchin, I think that would be much more applicable to the audience, or like digestible.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
No,
fair.
it's a giant ass orangutan and
And so horny. He's like, ugh! Get outta here!
horny ass orangutan.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, pretty much Strength, all it does is it just makes the boat beefy, because as we realize after Jotaro beats Strength, it's just a regular ass normal like boat and stuff like that. But yeah, they beat Strength, and then they have 46 days left before Holly dies, and they make it to Singapore, and they stay in a hotel, and then it ends with Polnareff in his own hotel room, and he sees a doll there. Oh shit, this one's probably the creepiest stand, I feel like. One of the creepiest ones. Because it's pretty... One thing that I've noticed that I thought about more is that, like, pretty much all these stands are, like, references to horror films. Like, this doll is pretty much just Chucky.
Huh, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, like old
Here,
school
I thought
horror.
it was just like tarot cards.
Yeah. It's tarot cards, but like they're also like, when you think about it, they're definitely like horror films. Because the one that we'll see later, like the goopy guy, he's in reference to this movie called The Blob, I believe.
I think I remember you telling me that when I was watching it.
Yeah.
With you.
And then, Death 13, which we'll talk about later, it's pretty much just Freddy Krueger.
Oh. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Damn, he's
Yeah.
referencing like everything.
Yeah. And then, okay, so going back to the doll thing. So we see Polnareff, he's by himself, and then he immediately meets the stand user, Devo the Cursed, who shows himself to Polnareff. And Devo's power is probably the shittiest one. It literally works by him getting hurt first. Like, you have to get hurt in order for your stand to work. That's pretty much what it is. Like, he gets hurt, and then he places a curse on you, be like, fuck you, I'm gonna place a curse on you, this doll's now possessed, and now it's gonna, like, fucking kill you and shit. So, yeah, and then Polnareff calls the rest of the Crusaders, being like, hey, I'm being attacked by a stand user, can y'all help me? And there's like, yeah, no problem, Polnareff, meet us in our room. And then they just, after a while, they just never even check on him. I was like, oh, man, Polnareff's been gone for a while, I wonder what's going on. This is probably, in my opinion, the worst part about Stardust Crusaders, that, like, the other Crusaders just don't help. Whenever they're being attacked, they're just like, he'll be alright.
They're like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, whatever. It's probably the most annoying thing for me about Stardust Crusaders. But yeah, the doll comes alive and attacks Polnareff and fucking kills the room service guy, like slices off his face. God
Man,
damn,
he's
that
just
was
doing his job.
He was just doing his
job.
God damn,
That was very sad.
that was very sad. But yeah,
Leave our service workers alone.
they work
go through
too
enough.
hard for too little, and they get this shit too. God damn. Not gonna paid overtime for that one. But yeah, Polnareff eventually kills the devil by slicing up everything except his balls, and then it cuts to one of the workers seeing Devo all like cut up and stuff. Like, god damn, that was brutal as shit. But then Polnareff eventually goes back into his room, and then fucking Abdul and Joseph are just like, Polnareff, what the fuck took you so long? And like he's covered in blood and shit. It's like, god damn, I love y'all, but fuck y'all at the same time. But yeah, that part ends with Kakyoin being all menacing and weird next to Jotaro. So then we get into our new stand user, Temperance. I mean, these motherfuckers are just getting stand user after stand user after stand user. Like, they don't get a break.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, Jotaro, Kakyoin, and the girl with Anna, right?
And
Okay, whatever. She doesn't matter. They're all hanging out, and then Kakyoin gets his wallet stolen, and then immediately starts beating the shit out of the guy who stole his wallet. Which, I mean, like, fair, but kind of out of character for Kakyoin there.
yeah, I thought that was
Man
weird.
just wants money.
But yeah, Kakyoin starts being all weird and like fucking with Jotaro, and then Jotaro punches him into the cable car and then reveals that he is the new stand user Yellow Temperance with his yellow goo that can change his appearance and protect him, which is in reference to this movie called The Blob, which was a 1958 movie. How do you feel about this stand user, The Blob, Yellow Temperance?
I thought this one was pretty sick, because then, like, obviously it explains why Kakyoin was not acting as himself.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like his power, too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tight. What about you, Cole? How do you feel about Yellow Temperance?
I feel like he might be, like, he could have been, like, a really strong, like, opponent to go against if he was just a bit smarter about how he acted.
Yeah, he definitely was very cocky.
Well, I feel like easily blended in if he just like studied his target a bit better.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Definitely. But yeah, Yellow Temperance and Jotaro fights, and unfortunately, Rip Pocky, another dog dies.
Hell. Yeah, JoJo and killing dogs.
JoJo and the dog.
I got to that part and I was like, why?
That makes me think, did any dogs die in part 2?
I can't recall.
I want to say yes.
Maybe.
I don't remember if it was earlier or later in the...
Here, Cole, you Google that while we talk more about it. Because, yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, part 3, a lot more dogs died if to make up for the lack of dog deaths in part 2.
I was going to say, yeah, that I do... Ugh.
But yeah,
anyway.
Near the end of the fight, before Jotaro beats the shit out of Yellow Temperance, he asks them about more of the stand users, and we learn that the man with the 2 right hands that Polnareff is trying to kill is named Jay Guile, and his tarot card is the Hanged Man, and his powers has something to do with mirrors. Yeah, and apparently the stand users are getting paid as a reward for killing the Crusaders. So pretty much most of these stand users are just doing it for the money and stuff like that. Which I feel like definitely... early part JoJo, a lot of the villains are very one note. They're just pretty much I'm evil cause fuck you sort of stereotype, which is kind of I guess it kind of works for this sort of monster of the week sort of formula, having these more basic characters with cool powers rather than just having like big backstories and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like money here is like a good replacement for like big backstory.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it gives enough motivation. True. People will do things for money, clearly.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so in part 2, a dog doesn't die, but Cars did save a dog.
I do, yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah. I remember he saved the dog.
So that's reversed. That's an Uno card.
Yeah, I guess Araki was just like, all right, I'm sorry about part 1. I had Dio, burn Danny. Let's.
Oh, God, don't remind me.
Now I'll make you feel conflicted about this enemy.
But this time we're killing more dogs to make up for it. No, God damn it, Araki. I know the reason why, but maybe you could, tone it down a little bit. But yeah, so near the end of this episode of this arc, the girl supposedly goes back to her father, but then we realize she's on the train, and then we get one of the most iconic things of JoJo, the Lero Lero Lero. How do you feel about that, Kai?
That was really, really weird. It made me slightly uncomfortable.
At first it made sense because,
it felt like it served no good.
Yeah, at first it made sense because, he's being Kakyoin, the fake Kakyoin, him doing it, trying to, be all weird. But then near the end, Kakyoin was like, hey, Jotaro, let me have that cherry. And then he starts doing it and it's like, oh, that was legit. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's actually part of his personality.
Yeah, Yellow Temperance got it right.
Oh, God.
So yeah, moving on, the Crusaders are on a train heading to Calcutta, India. And then Polnareff goes to the restroom, big mistake. And then he finds a pig inside, and then he's by a mirror. He's washing his hands, and then he sees some weird object moving in the mirror, but when he turns around, nothing's there. And then Kakyoin realizes that, holy shit, it's Jay Guile. Jay Guile's here. And then on his way to find Jay Guile, we meet Whole Horse. The whole horse is here. And then he fucks with this woman who wants to marry him. And then Whole Horse goes to see Jay Guile, and they prepare to fight Polnareff. And then Whole Horse brings out his stand known as Emperor. So we get a quick fight with Whole Horse and Polnareff. And the cool thing about Whole Horse, I kind of like Whole Horse's stand. It's literally just a gun that can appear out of nowhere and changes the trajectory of the bullet. That's a really powerful stand. But Whole Horse is kind of fucking stupid.
OP as fuck.
Yeah. Like if someone had Emperor in real life today, busted.
Yeah.
That would be busted. But
Sounds
yeah.
about right.
How do you guys feel about Whole Horse?
Fucking love him. He was like
I love his character.
Oh, definitely.
He's very like Wild West, like cowboy.
Definitely.
Legit, yeah. I was like,
I mean?
he's Texas as a character.
Yeah, he's Texas as fuck.
If Texas
and
was a
especially like
person.
with the fucking revolver he has, Emperor. Oh my god, like.
And it's a cool name too.
It is a cool name.
Fun fact too, actually. Apparently, Araki had plans to make Whole Horse one of the Crusaders, but he decided, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Which actually would have been cool.
Wish he did.
That would have been tight if he was one of the Crusaders.
That reminds me of this like meme, like one of my favorite JoJo memes about Whole Horse. Hold on, I'm sending it in the chat.
Okay, cool.
Visual users will probably see this.
In the middle of the fight, Abdul tries to save Polnareff from getting shot, but unfortunately, one of the stands, the hanged man, comes behind Abdul in the reflection, stabs him in the back, and then fucking Abdul fucking dies. Kai, how'd you feel about that when that happened?
That was pain. Cause like, again, like we mentioned earlier, he is one of the more serious ones and like really helping to move the plot along. And I was like, oh, like we're gonna get our shit together, like it's all gonna be fine. And then he fucking gets stabbed.
Yeah, he gets got, and we're only 10 episodes in. Like, fuck. We still got a whole 14 episodes and another season. Like, what's gonna happen?
A whole horse.
True.
Not just a half horse.
No, not a half horse.
A whole meaty horse. But yeah.
Yeah, that was really sad. That was satisfying.
Yeah. So yeah, the hangman is pissed off at Polnareff and he tries to attack him, but then Kakyoin saves him and they escape together. And then Hangman tries to catch up, and then fucking this annoying ass kid is like, "Hey, what's going on? You guys need help?" It's like, "Go away, kid!
Get the fuck out of here!"
But yeah, eventually they sort of learn the trick with the Hangman's ability about just he moves in like refractions of light, so he has to be within a reflection and stuff like that. So they eventually figure him out, and they find Jay Guile. What do you guys think about Jay Guile? He's definitely the most scumbag of Crusaders. Yeah, perfect. But his ability is cool.
He kind of ugly.
He is ugly.
Yeah. He's ugly as fuck.
Yeah. But I like his ability though. Hangman, that's a pretty cool ability. Being able to move
his ability is fucking like that shit'll get you got.
Oh,
clearly.
100%. Like you,
But,
like look in your area. Like how many reflections there are, you be fucked. 100%.
Especially these phones.
Oh
Jesus.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. If Jay Guile lived today, he'd kill a lot of people. Hopefully that's not the case in real life. But yeah, they eventually corner Jay Guile, and Polnareff gets his revenge and kills Jay Guile. Fuck yeah, go fuck yourself. And then on the way back, they come across Whole Horse, who doesn't realize that Jay Guile's dead. He's like, "All right, finna fuck y'all up. Let's go." And then he realized like, "Oh shit, well, time to run." But then Jotaro and Joseph sort of stop him. But then the woman that Whole Horse was messing with earlier stops them, and then he's able to run away. And then they decide to take the woman with them, and then some weird goop lands on Joseph's arm, and the episode ends with the goop on his arm, sort of like moving, mouthing a little bit. Yeah. So now we're gonna get a Joseph-centric episode. So with that starts with like Enya realizing her son died and she wants revenge, and then they arrive in Vernazia, I think Vernazia, which is a more religious city in India. And then Joseph goes to a doctor about his infection, and then the infection sort of like keeps multiplying and getting worse and starts killing everyone and like sort of framing Joseph for all the deeds. And so now Joseph is like being targeted in the city of Vernazia. And then we get the stand Empress. What do you guys think of Empress?
Empress pretty dope. It's pretty brutal.
Oh no. It's definitely weird. It's pretty much just like an infection that grows and keeps calling him Papa. Like, "You're my dad. What up, Daddy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you and kill you."
I didn't like it because blood. It was kind of creepy.
It was very
it's very
definitely.
What horror movie is that reference, huh?
No clue, but I'm pretty sure there's one. I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure there's one. But yeah, what probably the coolest thing about this section is like Joseph using Haman again and like doing his old trick from back in part 2 where he would like say the line and then the person would say it and he'd be like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, love that.
Yeah. For me, that was definitely the highlight of this section. And then like meanwhile during all of this, Polnareff is trying to like get with that girl, and then like it ends with the girl sort of like bleeding and like this even uglier woman bursts out of this beautiful woman. It's like, oh god, that is traumatizing as shit. Like, could you imagine that like on a date with someone you really like, and then like they start bleeding and shit, and then like an even uglier person emerges? It's like, oh.
Yeah, we're going half on the bill.
Yeah. Yeah. You are paying for this date. I will never see you again. Goodbye. We should see other people.
Goodbye. Ghosts.
Mm-hmm. But then the episode ends with the gang sort of heading out, and then a mysterious car follows them. So we get our new stand, the Wheel of Fortune. The Crusaders are riding to Pakistan. Oh yeah, just Hot Wheels here. So
the Wheel of Fortune. It's a fucking car.
Just a fucking car. This is probably.
I thought that was pretty clever.
This is probably the dumbest stand in my opinion. Wheel of Fortune. It's probably the dumbest one.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. So then on the drive, they come across Anne. She's back.
Mm-hmm. Useless.
Why?
God.
Why? For what purpose?
Fuck out of here.
Just wasting time, Baraki. God damn it. But yeah, the car follows them. Sort of like a shitty beat up car at first, but then sort of morphs into this nice red car, Looney Tunes ass looking motherfucker.
That's suspicious.
That's a little suspicious. But then, and like probably the weirdest part about this is like the stand user, as we see, has really beefy ass arms. Like this dude said arm day only. But yeah, they come across the car and they fight it and stuff like that, and then like it starts shooting this weird thing. It's just fucking projectiles of gasoline and stuff like that. And probably the coolest part, the funniest part about this episode is that like when the stand user supposedly beats Jotaro, he does sort of like a what do you call it? A break the fourth wall kind of joke where he says like, all right, part 3 is over. Jotaro's dead. We're done. Roll credits. But then Jotaro's like, all right, well, who will replace me? You? Could you imagine if fucking Wheel of Fortune was the main character for the rest of the series? That'd be boring as shit. But yeah, but then Jotaro just beats the shit out of the car, and they take the shitty Wheel of Fortune car and drive off.
They literally take the wheel.
They take the wheel. But yeah, Kai, what do you think of Wheel of Fortune?
Very fucking weird. Again, like someone said it too. Like my least favorite.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I mean, it's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. But it's definitely like, could you imagine having that as a power? It's just like, oh, I can make my car more interesting, I guess.
You just have a fucking demon car. Like.
Yeah. Which I know this definitely is like a movie reference. I just can't remember the name. Like, I know there's like an iconic evil movie. I just can't remember what it's called though.
Tired.
I'm tired.
Was that what it's called?
I have no clue.
No, it's called Rubber.
Rubber?
No, that's not it. It's just a silly like horror movie where like an evil tire comes to life and goes around killing people.
That's probably what it is.
That's not it at all.
I don't know, some evil car movie. I don't know. But
yeah.
That section ends with Enya being like, all right, I'm gonna stop fucking around. I'm gonna bring justice into this bitch. So yeah, they get a new ride, and so they go to this town. It's like covered in fog. They decide to go back to this town. They go to this town to very sus indeed, very sus. Among Us VR.
Oh, a little Among Us.
Oh. Yeah, they go to the town and try to find a hotel, and all the townspeople are very creepy, and they find this one dude just like both dead and really jacked, but covered in holes. That's one thing that I noticed about part 3 is that like every dude is extremely jacked for no reason.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, they eventually come across Enya, who's trying to pretend like she's this nice elderly woman, and she takes them to this hotel, and Jotaro constantly calls her out on her BS, being like, I don't know.
No, I don't trust you. You're sus.
Yeah, you're kind of sus there, ma'am. Which, as we'll bring up, like, there are times where, like, they're extremely suspicious, but other times where they're extremely oblivious, like with the baby. There's like
that was funny.
Yeah, that was funny and stupid. Just like
It was.
all the shit that y'all encountered. Y'all can't think that a baby could be a stranger, an orangutan, but not a baby.
A fucking ape.
Like, god damn it. We'll get to that later. But yeah, they whole horse comes over and like talks to Enya and be like, "Oh man, sorry about your dead son. God, we were like brothers. Yeah, totally. Yeah." But Enya calls him out as bullshit and attacks him with justice, which is a stand made of fog. How do y'all feel about the stand justice? I feel like this is a much better stand from the Wheel of Fortune.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
it's a step above, that's for sure.
I feel like this is definitely the strongest stand that they've fought so far, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was a moment when I was watching, I was like, how the fuck are they gonna get out of this?
Yeah. Because like for y'all that
how
y'all that don't know, pretty much justice, what it does is that like she has to wound you, and then with that she can make a hole appear on your arm or whatever body that she like wounds, and she can control that part like a puppet, basically. So that's pretty much how she's controlling all the dead bodies. That like she killed them all, and then like she put these holes on them and controlling them, pretending like they're townspeople and stuff like that. So then Polnareff goes to check on Enya, pretending like, oh yeah, and I love how the funniest part about this is like Polnareff accidentally keeps bringing up her son. She's like, oh man, I could be your son.
Oh yeah, your son, your dead son.
Your dead child?
That's right, the one we killed.
Remember that, bitch? Oh man. But then Polnareff unfortunately goes into another restroom, and Enya sort of controls him and stuff like that, and she almost makes him lick the fucking shitty restroom. But then Jotaro comes out with this big brain, and like he's like, how do you know my name? Huh? How do you know it's my name? He's like, oh yeah, because you wrote it down in the registry. And then she checks it, and then Jotaro shows him and says, Q some random fucking thing.
Yeah, it was some fucked up shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fucking got. Fucking love that. Jotaro's definitely the smart boy. Gotta love it. So immediately brings out her stand, and then Jotaro fights Justice, and like his strategy for beating Justice is to just suck it. That's all he did. Just sucked up Justice.
I thought that was pretty fucking bizarre.
Yeah, that was very brutal. Like Enya's over there just like, oh shit, fuck, can't breathe. Then made this bitch fucking choke for good. But yeah, they beat Justice, and then they take her with them because they want to like try to since pretty much she was like the one-on-ones closest to Dio, they're trying to like hopefully get some information out of him. And then Whole Horse eventually leaves stealing their car. And then I love how in the next episode it goes to like them on horseback. Like where the fuck did they get these horses? I don't know. They really do.
Well, I mean, their ride got stolen. You gotta make do.
Yeah, gotta make do. But they arrive in the town of Karachi, and then it starts with Joseph trying to bargain with this dude, this totally normal salesman. Nothing wrong with him. Just a normal dude. Not a total piece of shit that we'll see later. But yeah, Enya wakes up and starts being attacked by the tentacles from inside, and unfortunately she dies before they could reveal who it is, thinking that Dio still cares about her, but of course he doesn't. Doesn't give two shits. And it's revealed that the dude that Joseph was haggling is Steely Dan, which is a reference to, the band Steely Dan. One of the few actual band references, because most of these references are like referenced after the tarot cards. This is one of the first few like band references, which is pretty cool. And his stand, The Lovers. All right, how do y'all feel about Steely Dan?
I actually liked him.
Really?
Yeah, Steely Dan's pretty dope.
Really?
I love his name too.
Yeah, it was his name. That was like what sold me, but also like I felt he was a bit funny.
Yeah, no, he definitely has funny moments.
A little funny.
Yeah. And pretty much this whole time, the whole thing with the Lovers, that like it can go inside somebody and pretty much control it, or like if he takes damage, then the person that the Lovers is controlling takes twice the amount of damage. So pretty much for an episode and a half, Steely Dan makes Jotaro his bitch and stuff like that. And
that's what was funny.
Yeah. And Kakyoin and Polnareff try to get the Lovers out of Joseph and stuff like that. And then in the next episode, Silver Cherry and Hierophant Green fight the Lovers, and eventually they get them out, and Jotaro beats the shit out of Steely Dan for a solid 20 seconds. which I love that. I love that. They just said, all right, fuck you. We're just going to beat the shit out of you for a solid 20 seconds nonstop. Oda. I love that. Because in the manga,
because fuck you.
It was 3 pages. Like 3 pages dedicated to just Steely Dan getting his shit kicked out of him. Gotta love that. Because Steely Dan, for Rocky, was supposed to be like the big scumbag of the part and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, for me, like I feel like Steely Dan is not nearly as bad as the previous antagonists and some of the ones that we'll see later, honestly. Like he was just a big douchebag.
Yeah, definitely big douchebag vibes, but not the worst, not the most vile.
Nah, not at all. Like I feel like some other characters probably should have gotten the 20-second Oda, to be honest. Yeah. But then after that, they arrive in the hot desert. Okay. Is this the episode that I think it is? Yeah, no. This is probably my least favorite episode and my least favorite stand. The sun.
Okay, that's fair.
Should not have been a whole episode.
That was so stupid. Yeah, but it was so funny.
Yeah, it was funny near the end when they realized like the trick. But yeah, pretty much it was just them arriving in the desert, and then it's super hot, and then they see this stand called the sun. That's just like a really hot ass stand that can shoot these light projectiles at them. And so pretty much the whole episode is just them just sitting in a rock trying to figure out what it is. And then near the end of the episode, Kakyoin, Polnareff, and Jotaro just laugh their asses off, all weird, especially Kakyoin. Like, what the fuck was that laugh?
Yeah, it really sussed me out. I was like, what the fuck are they laughing at? I literally don't get it.
Yeah. But pretty much the trick that they realize is that like they see 2 rocks that look identical, and they realize that it's just a mirror reflection, that the stand user is just right there chilling with some AC with a drink. And then Jotaro just grabs a rock and chucks it at the stand user, and they beat him. That was it. That should not have been
fight.
That should not have been a whole episode. Oh my god. Like definitely a lot of the criticism with part 3 is that, you know, it's very slow, because pretty much what they do is like they adapt everything. That's why it's like 48 episodes, because they don't miss a beat for the most part. They just adapt everything and like make each stand user an episode worth at least. And it's like, I feel like the sun should not have been a whole episode in my opinion. I don't know.
Not at all.
No. Anyway, so moving on from that, we get a much better stand, Death 13. So Kakyoin is like sleeping. He hears a baby crying. He wakes up in an amusement park, and he finds the tarot card of Death 13, and you guessed it, a dog dies. Dog 2. Poor dog. And then Kakyoin wakes up, shitting his pants, and then a kid finds a similar dead dog, and he realizes like, oh shit, that looks like the dog that I saw in my dream. And then Joseph wants to get a plane, but the owner won't, because there's this sick baby, and he's like, hey, can y'all take the sick baby with you? Which, oops, they made a mistake. Should just let that baby die. But yeah, it turns out that the baby is the stand user, because eventually Kakyoin and Polnareff fall asleep, and they both wake up in the same amusement park next to the dead dog, and Death 13 shows up, and they realize that, oh shit, we can't bring our stands out, because unfortunately we have to bring our stands. We have to already have fallen asleep with our stands already out in order to have them out with them. But yeah, what do y'all think about Death 13?
Death 13 is fucking nuts.
Oh, 100%.
It's so creepy.
He goes crazy. Yeah, he's creepy as fuck.
This is a definite...
Especially the child.
Oh, yeah. The vampiric child, which I don't know... I'm starting to think if the baby is a vampire. I feel like that's the only... That makes the most sense, right? Because, I mean, he had that look to him. He had, like, the fangs.
He had the fangs, yeah.
He was smart for, like, what, 11 months or something like that?
He was a cute baby.
Yeah, it was pretty cute, but evil motherfucker.
Then his teeth came out.
Yeah, and they manhandled the fuck out of him, too.
Yeah, this is honestly probably, like, the strongest stand that they fought so far, because pretty much, like, they're defenseless for the most part. Like, they couldn't do shit. But eventually...
I feel like, though, if they did have their stands, it wouldn't be...
Oh, yeah, if they had their stands, this wouldn't be hard at all. But that was, like, the thing with Death 13. It's like, oh, can't have your stand, sorry. But then eventually Kakyoin starts freaking out and realizing, like, oh, shit, wait a minute. Is that baby the stand user? Because the next time that Kakyoin goes into the dream, he like carves into his hand like baby stand, which is smart as fuck. That's very smart.
But also when he wakes up, he's like, what this mean?
Wait, what this mean? Am I emo? What is going on?
Baby stand.
What?
I do love the scary baby stare in the end.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But honestly, as I mentioned earlier, like this is the dumbest shit that like Kakyoin's trying to convince them, like, hey, the baby is the stand user, but they're just like, no, it's not. What the? A baby's not a stand user. What the fuck? The orangutan, sure, but a baby, nah. That was so stupid. I'm sorry. That's dumb.
It was.
Yeah, no. But then eventually later they all the stand users fall asleep and they knock out Kakyoin with a standout, and Death 13, everyone shows up in the dream with Death 13. Nobody can bring out their stand. Jotaro tries to bring out his stand, but that was just Death 13 fucking with him. And then eventually Kakyoin shows up and attacks Death 13. Kakyoin eventually wins. So good on him. He gets his second fight in the part, which is nice. More love for Kakyoin. Everybody wakes up forgetting what happened, but Kakyoin remembers. And the best part, instead of, beating up the baby, because it's still a baby. It's evil as shit, but it's a baby. What Kakyoin does is he makes him eat his poop.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah. That was great.
Fuck yeah. Having problems with a baby, just make him eat his poop. There you go. They'll never know. But yeah, so after that, the Crusaders are now crossing the Red Sea to Egypt, but Joseph decides to stop at an island to meet a certain someone. What's going on there? So they eventually arrive at the island, and they see a man who looks a lot like Abdul, but it's not Abdul, it's his father. And Joseph wants to tell him about what happened and potentially make him join the crew, because apparently he supposedly has a stand. I wonder what stand he could have. Who knows? But then Polnareff feels all guilty about Abdul and sort of like goes on his own, having sad boy hours, and stuff like that. And eventually he finds a lamp, and he rubs it 3 times, and then a genie comes out named Cameo.
This fucking genie-ass lamp.
Which gives him 3 wishes. At first, Polnareff is sort of suspicious about it, thinks it's a stand, but then he wishes for money to sort of test it out, and then he finds a bunch of money and is like, oh shit, it's real! And he starts to think about his second wish and be like, oh, I could be like a fucking manga artist and have Polnareff land. That'd be tight. But then he decides, I want my sister to come back. Bring Abdul back too. And so, which he does, and then, which brings his sister back, and he's like, oh, yeah, my sister's back. But then his sister's like, I'm going to eat you. Be all cannibal. What? Yeah. But then Cameo reveals that he is a stand user called Judgment, which pretty much what he does is like whatever quote unquote wish they have, what he does just makes it out of dirt and kills them and stuff like that. But yeah, what do y'all feel about Judgment, the stand?
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it gives him false hope when you make the wish, but then I was thinking like it could be a really good stand.
Oh yeah,
it actually could work pretty well because it serves as like don't wish for like too many things.
Exactly. Like I feel like it kind of reflects the concept of greed a lot.
Oh, 100%, definitely. I feel like a better wish would have been like Polnareff should have been like, I wish Dio was dead, and then Kim was like,
oh fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been funny. But yeah, later in the episode, Polnareff is being eaten by the fake Abdul and the fake sister, but then another Abdul shows up. What's going on there? And then it's revealed, motherfucking Abdul is back. Yes, I am.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Kai, how'd you feel about that when Abdul showed up again?
I was very glad. It's kind of sad that like his shit's kind of fucked, but like, he's alive.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So apparently, Abdul, according to Rocky, Abdul was supposed to die back with the whole horse and hangman situation, but a lot of the fans were upset by that and just like, no, bring him back. And so Rocky said, all right, I'll bring Abdul back. There you go. You can have your favorite flame boy. But yeah, Abdul comes back and fights Judgment, and I feel like in this fight, Abdul's personality is kind of different. Like he's a lot more extroverted and goofy, which is cool, but like
yeah, he is.
Sort of takes out of his character, which I mean, I don't mind it. I kind of like it. A more Abdul is always appreciated for a fact. And I love how sort of like the reason why he didn't die is that like the bullet just sort of scraped his skull, which is still like, god damn, that's brutal shit. I know, but glad that Abdul's back. So then yeah, Abdul beats up the fuck out of Judgment, and so they sort of fuck with Cameo by doing a sort of brotherly bonding by pissing together on Judgment. On Cameo. Oh, that's I don't know how I'd feel about that if someone's like, hey, you want to piss on this dude with me? I was like, I don't.
They gathered for the group piss.
Yeah, the group piss. Now, fuck the group pick. Let's do a group piss. But yeah, they beat Abdul, and Abdul rejoins the Crusaders. And I love how the thing about this is like, Ponar's was like, hey guys, Abdul's back. And they were like, oh, cool. We actually knew that.
Oh, yeah, we knew.
Yeah, we knew.
We've been knowing.
Yeah, we just didn't want to tell you because fuck you, Ponar. Like, goddamn. But then Abdul shows up with a fucking submarine. These motherfuckers are taking a submarine to Egypt. Because they're very close. There's literally one more stand user that they have to fight. So yeah, they're in the submarine. Everyone's chilling. And Joseph calls this girl Susie Q. Susie Q's back. Still quirky as ever. Gotta love her. Miss Susie Q. Apparently she's like sort of taking care of Holly and checking up on her every once in a while. And after that, they're sort of like chilling, and then they all drink some nice cup of Joe, and they notice like, wait a minute, there's 5 of us, but 6 cups. Yeah. Sus. Sus. And then Joseph picks up one of the cups, and luckily he picked up with his metal arm because the High Priestess cuts off his metal arm and stuff like that. Which I love how anytime Joseph gets hurt, it's always they break off his arm, his metal arm. Which, God,
yeah, like what the fuck? That's just expensive.
I know. How'd you get her replaced so quickly? But yeah, how do y'all feel about High Priestess?
I really like this sequence a lot, especially that it takes place in the submarine, the stakes are much higher.
Definitely.
And there's a big chance like, oh, we're gonna fucking drown.
Oh yeah. What about you, Cole? What do you think about High Priestess?
Yeah, it really like heightened the situation by by a lot, because like they're so fucking close.
Oh yeah,
they're just so close, and if they just like died right there, that's it.
No, they're so close to the halfway point. I really like High Priestess's ability. Like, it literally can change into any material for the most part. That's a pretty powerful stand. It's very versatile too. Like, I like it a lot.
I feel like a lot of these stands are pretty OP.
If they were smart.
Yeah, if they were smart.
They definitely would.
But yeah, in traditional JoJo Bizarre Adventure sense,
oh, 100%.
There's nothing that can stop our boys.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Crusaders have very, like, pretty basic-ass abilities. Jotaro, I can punch hard. Abdul, flames. Kakyoin, I shoot emeralds, I guess. Half the time it never works. Kakyoin, I have a sword and goes really fast. Joseph, I got thorns. Meanwhile, all the enemy stand users have these very like specific abilities that are much more dangerous. And so I kind of like that though. So it's sort of like a game of chess where it's like, okay, what does my specific stand have to do to beat your specific stand? You know, so like they sort of have to like think really hard with their strategies. Like, okay, what do I need to do in order to like counter you and stuff like that? Instead of just like other shonens where it's just like, I just need to punch harder. Which, I mean, granted, that's what granted, that's what Jotaro does. But like for the most part, with a lot of these stand fights, they're very unique, which I can appreciate a lot.
They are.
Yeah, well, the difference is like Jotaro is like smarter about it.
He's smarter about how hard he punches. Yeah.
He definitely thinks outside the box.
100%. 100%. And so in the last episode, they're fighting High Priestess, and then what's really cool is that Kai, I'm pretty sure you didn't notice, but we got another sound effect opening, which pretty much just stand proud but with sound effects, which is cool, and stuff like that. So they fight High Priestess. High Priestess fucking chomps on these motherfuckers, and they're inside High Priestess, and yeah, she literally eats them, yeah. And then she supposedly kills Jotaro, but then you hear a muffled ora 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 in the distance. And then Jotaro pretty much destroys all her teeth. And if y'all remember, whatever happens to the stand happens to the user. So after High Priestess's teeth got all fucked up, you know the user got her teeth all fucked up, which is why they didn't show her and stuff like that. Because it would have looked bad. But yeah, they beat High Priestess, and now they have finally made it to Egypt. The boys made it. They're halfway there. The journey is almost over. And then before the episode ends, we see some 9-hooded figures walking along the street, and then one of the strangers who's watching them gets killed by a blue figure. Some random blue figure. What's going on with that?
Sonic, no.
Oh no, Sonic, why? Please. The blue blur himself has arrived. But yeah, so now they're in the episode ends with them sort of hanging out in the desert. They're about to make it further into Egypt. But then we get a teaser for what's going to happen in season 2, to where the Speedwagon Foundation is riding along this on this helicopter towards the Crusaders, and they got something weird in the back. Huh? Wonder what that could be. Sauce. But yeah, that is the end of JoJo Part 3, Season 1, Stardust Crusaders. What do y'all think about this as a whole?
I actually really like this season a lot more.
Really?
Just because, like, it's because, again, like, you already know, not necessarily my grievances about JoJo, but it is very fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
That's in the name.
But definitely, like, I do agree that having the stands in place of them using Hamon is so much more effective, especially, like, character-wise, and also really aids the audience, and, like, how Cole mentioned, like, oh, this one does that, this one does that, you know?
Easy to remember.
Instead of, like, they have their limitations as compared to Hamon, where you can just fucking, like, it's a free-for-all with that.
Yeah, it's a free-for-all.
Random bullshit.
Like, what do I want my Hamon to do today?
Exactly. But no, yeah, I really like this because it definitely felt more cohesive, and yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, Kai, now that we have 3 parts, would you say that part 3 is your favorite so far?
I do really like part 2, because it's got that, like, I guess that old school, like, back in the fucking day, like, 40s vibe, especially that where it takes place as well. But yeah, I think as far as, like, story and plot goes, I think part 3. Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with that. Overall, as a whole, I like part 3 more, but there are definitely things that I can like more about part 2. Like, I definitely feel like the main character I definitely liked a little bit better. It was shorter, got to the point quicker. Definitely wasn't nearly as slow as part 3, but as a whole, I like part 3 more. Like, I like the stands were like the main thing. Why I think stands are really fucking cool. A really cool
I think
concept.
that really saved it.
Yeah, 100%. All the supporting casts are really fucking cool too, and stuff like that. But yeah, as a whole, I like part 3 more than part 2. What about you, Cole?
Well, you already know, part 2 and 3 are my favorites
right.
in the series.
What do you think about season 1?
But I agree. It is, like, part 2 was definitely a lot shorter and, like, quicker to the point. And I felt like I kind of like part 2 more because there wasn't, like, as many dogs dying.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
I get that. Okay, well, cool. All right, so last thing I'm going to ask is, all right, so out of all the stands that we've seen as a whole, who's your favorite within the Crusaders? Your favorite stand? Not the character.
Definitely not Hierophant. Fucking useless. Useless.
Yeah.
Why is
yeah,
there?
pretty much.
For me, I'm gonna go with. I really like Star Platinum, but I feel like Magician's Red is more versatile, can do more. So I'm gonna say Magician's Red for me.
Silver Chariot's pretty cool.
Silver Chariot is really fucking cool. Yeah. I feel like anybody but Hermit
I
Purple.
do like.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, I do like Star Platinum a lot. He's pretty cool, and, like, it's very simple. Like, you just punch.
Yeah, you just punch. That's it.
You just do the thing.
Easy
That's all
to
you
remember
need is
what
your
it
bare
does.
knuckles.
Okay, now within all the enemies that we've seen, who's your favorite and least favorite stand that you can remember?
I really like Holstead's. The fucking revolver.
Oh yeah, Whole Horse. The Emperor.
That shit was that was so good. As far as my least favorite, probably the fucking car.
Yeah.
Our Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Car was dumb. What about you, Cole?
That was so...
Favorite, also Whole Horse. Least favorite, Strength.
Yeah. Strength was dumb.
It was
fair.
so stupid. It was so stupid.
For me, my least favorite is definitely the Sun. That one was dumb, but the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, that one was.
Wheel of Fortune's close though. Wheel of Fortune's close. Favorite?
Fucking wheel.
At least Wheel of Fortune, like, fucking moves the plot along.
True.
But yeah, Sun was useless. We could have just gone without it.
Oh, actually, but Hangman was also really fucking cool too. Those are two really cool groups. Least favorite, shit. Well, no, I already said my least favorite. Favorite, definitely either Whole Horse or Hangman. Those ones are really good. Okay. Now, Kai, since we already know what's going to happen next, what are your predictions for what's going to happen in Season 2, Part 3? What do you think is going to happen?
Man. Because I know...
one of my favorite scenes.
Because I watched the first couple episodes of it.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So I know that Speedwagon brings a very, very good boy. So I'm pretty excited to see how that's going to play out. Okay. Especially when they're finally in Egypt now. So
yeah.
Now it's fucking time to face goddamn Dio again.
100 years, baby.
100 years. But yeah, I'm very curious to know what'll happen next. But I do know for sure, like, shit's gonna go down in Egypt.
Oh, 100%.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna come into contact with more stands that will fuck them up.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's guaranteed.
I mean, there's another whole ass 24 episodes. So yeah, there's more stands. But I can attest to that. I feel like, especially the stuff with Dio in Season 2 is some pretty intense shit. Can you agree with that, Cole? Do you think so?
Pretty intense.
Yeah, pretty
intense as in, like...
It's both, like, action-packed and, like, sad.
Oh, okay. Sounds about right.
Yeah. But yeah, so...
It has, like, some really good moments.
Oh, 100%.
It's, like, my favorite part.
Oh, yeah, for a fact. Yeah.
That's what makes Part 3, like, one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, the second season is definitely a lot better than Season 1 of Part 3, for a fact. Especially near the end.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll eventually talk about Season 2 of Part 3. But before we do that, next episode, we're going to talk about the rest of Rent-A-Girlfriend. That was... Because in the previous episode, we talked about how we decided, okay, out of the 3 shows, Blood Sea, Rent-A-Girlfriend, and Gun Gale, which show we want to continue talking about for the next episode. So we're going to talk about the rest of the Trainwreck Rent-A-Girlfriend and stuff like that. Which luckily Season 2 is going to pop off eventually, so even more reason to talk about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for listening to this podcast. Sorry it's been so long, but yeah. You can check us out on YouTube. Follow us there. You can follow us on Spotify too. We upload the podcast an hour early for the audio-only version, and stuff like that. And if you want to see more of us, me and Cole have our own channel, Videoverse, where we play games and stuff like that. I also have my own personal channel called Mushrooman, where I talk about and make fun of anime and stuff like that, anime movies and games, which even works too. Speaking of anime, I recently released my top 10 anime of 2021, which I think it would be cool if, like, maybe the next episode too, we could talk about our favorite anime of the year, since the year's almost over.
Hell yeah.
Which would be pretty neat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have anything you'd like to say before we end it?
Don't get sick.
Yes, do not. Me and Kai are still sick as fuck.
Oh, God.
Gross.
Get your soups.
Get your soups. Take your soups.
But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.